It is Sunday morning, February 2nd, around 7:30ish. Supposed to be a phenomenal day for February 2nd. Going to get up to 66 degrees. So for those of you who follow me and wait for the next video to come up, you will know that I haven't put up a video in a while. And most of it is because I had some kind of a respiratory virus or cold, but I finally got over it completely. And as I said in my last update video, I would get the transmission in as soon as I felt like it, and it's in now. And excuse me, Angel, and everything works, and there are no leaks, and Angel won't let me under the truck. Everything is, I don't have a light with me handy. Everything is nice and dry. Everything works. The only thing that went wrong, if you remember, I showed it. I wanted to upgrade to a one-piece flywheel and an aftermarket clutch, which I thought was a great idea. And maybe it still was. But when I got it all together, this thing made a loud racket. You push in on the clutch, put a little pressure on the throwout bearing, the noise would go away. I thought I had a bad throwout bearing, so I pulled the transmission back, took my new throwout bearing back out, put in my old one, put it back together, same noise. So after that, I got a little panicky, like, okay, what's wrong? Had to do some searching. Found out on the internet, through some forums and a couple of YouTube videos, that the stock two-piece flywheel that I think I showed you in my past videos, I'm not sure, you can look it up if you want to know what they look like, is there for a reason. It cuts down on noise and vibration. The vibration is what causes the noise, and it makes it sound like something's wrong in the transmission. I mean, it's a rattle. And after a guy commented in some forums I was reading, that's why big trucks sound like they do. They don't have these two-piece flywheels. You put big truck stuff in a little truck, and it's going to sound like a big truck. And that made sense to me, because if you ever walk by a big 18-wheeler or maybe a garbage truck or a huge dump truck, sitting idling in idle, if it's a stick, you hear a lot of noise in the drivetrain. And that noise travels up in the transmission and makes you think something's wrong with the transmission. So I still wasn't 100% sure. I found it hard to believe that that single piece flywheel would make that much racket. So I pulled it all back out, put the stock one back in, put it all back together, and now it's quiet. And I could show you how it works right now, but I got the brakes off of it. I've got some brake shoes, and I've got a pair of brake shoes and two new wheel cylinders ordered for it. This one was leaking. That's why I never could get a good brake pedal. I had never had the back brakes apart on this when I put this whole truck back together, at least the underside of it, and I did not know it was leaking, but it decided to blow out a wheel cylinder, which is right here. So I got some stuff ordered from Summit. I'm a little skeptical as to whether I'll get the right parts or not, but I like ordering from Summit because you get it quick, and while you're waiting on the parts, you don't have to go anywhere and have some guy across the counter look at you like you don't know what you're doing. And you just, while you're waiting on the parts, you go work on something else, which is what I did yesterday. After I got this torn apart, we had something else happen. The oil furnace is gone because the heat exchanger rotted out. As you can see, it's gone, but I've got a new one on the way. I'm supposed to pick it up Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a delivery service, and yeah, they're much like the cable company. We'll be there between 9 and 5 on the selected day that you want it dropped off. Well, I didn't want to take a whole vacation day. I wanted them to drop it off after I got off from work, and they won't do that, so I told them I would pick it up, and they said it should be ready to pick up Tuesday or Wednesday. But the old oil furnace is in the back of the property, and will get hauled off someday when I get around to, see, I can zero in on it. Kind of blurry. See if it'll focus. There it is. It it was a lot worse than I thought. I smelled a puff of smoke coming out of it, and I took the ductwork off the top where I could see the heat exchanger, fired it up, and there was little holes of fire coming out of it everywhere. So I shut it down and tore it out. Now before I put the new one in, there's some things I want to fix. It's bad if it wasn't leaking in here all the time. And this is the project that I started on yesterday. Before I put the new furnace in, I'm going to fix the leaks between the lean-to and the garage. And the main reason I couldn't just seal it, which was my first thing to do because I didn't really want to get into that now, was because the siding is rotted. You can see the old on the left. I got half of it done on the right yesterday. I didn't plan on starting on it yesterday, but the weather was better than expected, or it started out better. Then it got cold as the sun went back in behind the clouds. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just using fencing planks or picket fence boards, are $1.68 a piece. They're treated. They're about the right thickness, a little bit thicker than that old siding, but it's real wood. It's treated. It'll last longer, and I think it looks kind of nice. As you can see, the tops are cut uneven, but some trim will go over top of that away. And it's kind of hard to cut them even when you got to stuff it out down behind the roof of the shed. So I'm going to finish that up, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. And okay, we're starting with a chilly start. 39 here in the garage. Let's guess if my thermometer works, which I need to throw away and replace outside. I'm guessing around 35. No, actually, wow, I'm getting 28. Unless that thermometer's wrong, but yeah, there's a red right there. I'm getting, yeah, about 25. Just to let you know, it don't feel that bad. Okay, got all the old stuff on this half tore out. I still need to take a blow gun from underneath. I got all the nails from the bottom out. Had to do that from inside the shed. Not easy to do because I had the oil tank, which sits right about here. Had to get up on top of it. It was kind of dangerous, but tearing this out, and I found some stuff yesterday over there. But I got parts up here I'd forgotten about. I got some tall FE Mercury valve covers. Just stuff that I knew I had, I didn't sold, but wondered what happened to it, and I just stored it up here and forgot about it. It's kind of hard to get up here, and that's why a lot of that stuff has gotten kind of forgotten about after I put the ceiling in. But I thought about, I'm not going to do it now, but I thought about actually making an access door up here, because that would make it easier to get in here and get to whatever parts I need, or look around to see what I've got. Stuff that just brings back memories. The original hubcaps for the 64 Fairlane, I think they are worth a little money on eBay. They would clean up real nice. I think that's a rear glass for the Torino on the back right there, and you see that long red what is this? Oh, now here's something I lost and was looking for. This is the actual interior trim that goes on the top of the windshield and clips over the headliner for the Torino. It's not in bad shape. I need to toss that to where I can get to it. I see a 260 V8 valve cover from the original engine that was in the Fairlane, the original steering wheel, a steering rack that got wore out after it was a drag car. These hubcaps, I'm not sure what they are. I think they might be LTD. I need to clean them up, maybe put them on eBay. Ford Motorsport aluminum water pump, Fairlane bumper brackets. I think those are that might be the front. Yeah, I think they're the fronts. A Victor Jr. intake, which has a crack in it. I never did get re-welded. Never pick your engine up with a carburetor lift plate when you got a aluminum intake, especially when it's got tall runners. It cracked right there. Just a dual point distributor, if you can see in the dark. for a 460. There's those tall valve covers I was telling you about for a 390 or FE. Stuff over there I knew I had, but just thought it'd be interesting. I used to have an 85 F-150 short bed step side. Here's the rear fenders off of it. Not the original ones. I had bought another step side bed because the truck got wrecked. Never got around to painting it. I ended up selling it. But these are just spare fenders off of a bed I bought. I bought the bed for parts. Never used that actual bed. I found a better one later. But aluminum transmission pan for a C4. Back when I used to run a small block in a race car. See some rims over there. So yeah, just thought that would be interesting. Flywheels and flex plates, or not flex plate covers, or whatever you call them. Stuff like. Okay, it's around 2 o'clock, almost 2:30, and all the woodwork is done. So I got done. It went along quicker than I thought. This side went quicker than that side yesterday because as you cut I bought 6-foot lengths of these boards, and I started out on that side yesterday, and I had to cut each one to fit. And of course, as you go on through here, the longer they get. But after you get to about this point, or maybe down to about here, you don't have very many to cut the length because it works out just right to where the ones that you cut off for the short ones, what's left over from it, turns out to be just the exact right length from there on down. So that saved me some cutting and it went quicker. I had just enough trim laying around in the basement to put the trim back up, and to close up the gap between this old roof and the new wood, I've got what was left of these picket fence boards shoved up against there and nailed down to the roof. Tried to hit a roofing brace, which is every 2 feet. Most of those nails hit, so it's nailed down pretty tight, and it's not completely sealed yet. I'm going to get some clear sealer. I'm going to seal up the gaps in between these because those are not planed perfectly flat. The only way you get a perfect mating surface is to get a wood planer and plane each one, and I'm definitely not going to do that. For now, I'm just going to do some clear sealer. I'm going to seal this to that. I may just do some black roofing sealer from there to the shingle, and maybe later, I haven't decided yet, I may get some little 1-inch strips for each of these cracks. That'll be later on down the road. I got more important things to do right now. The whole purpose of me doing this is so I don't have any more leaks into this shed and I can get my new furnace in here. And I need to get some new duct work. Get down here without falling. Kind of dangerous doing that with the camera. While I'm holding the camera, that is. But as you can see, I need to get this pipe here is good. That's a black stove pipe. It held up pretty decent, rusted on the outside. These right here, I think, are just galvanized. They don't last very long for that oil furnace. I think they're more for like a water heater, which is not as much heat as, of course, this furnace would be. They're kind of expensive, but I'm going to go ahead and order one of these in stainless steel. And I'm going to order me another length of this. These are stainless, and they're like 20 bucks a piece. The actual flue duct, or I forgot what they called this, the draft or whatever, it's rotted out. The part that goes to this is still good, so I'm going to use that another length of stainless, and I'm going to attach my draft flap to this right here, which will be stainless. And I got a big mess in there. I'm going to clean that up later. Not today. Been going at it for 7 hours, but I'm glad it's all done. As you can see, tools everywhere. But that part is done. Beautiful, almost, I mean, a spring-like day. But I'm liking it. Thanks for watching.